Five. Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. And this is obviously just a general share advice and not personal advice, as per the disclaimer. And Wolf, you're smiling this morning, aren't you? The Ashes retained. The English weather has saved the Aussies.
I'm a gracious winner, Dave. So, I'm not going to gloat about it. Obviously, it was a pretty disappointing day. And you had us on the ropes, yes. But that's the English weather for you, unfortunately. So, there's a lot of things you could point to, injuries, the tosses and the weather and all sorts of different things, right? It doesn't matter. Unfortunately, it just ruined a really, really good contest, isn't it, the bloody weather? So I'm disappointed in a way because I wanted to see it go down to the wire. Last test would have been so exciting.
Yeah, especially I thought Labuschagne batted beautifully for his 111. And who knows, right? Who knows? They had some good. Australia's got batting down the order. Anything could have happened, really. It could have been another nail biter.
Well, I think then you look at that Labuschagne 100. That could be the saver for this test, right? Where he actually batted for those 30 overs when they had that thing. If they could get the Aussies out straight away, then it would have been all over, of course.
Well, he's been a world batsman, a world class batsman, isn't he? Top 5 for the last few years now. So, cream rising to the top there, Wolf, just in time.
But look, I think it exposes that's the whole series exposes not just that English obviously are very good with this baseball and so on, but also the frailties of Australian side. They're not that great. They're getting old in the tooth, really. Lyon 36, Warner 36 out completely out of form. Some of these guys just needs to be moved on. So it's good that actually this is happening where we can maybe bring some new guys into this side.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there, actually, Wolf. They are getting a little bit long in the tooth, some of the players, aren't they?
For sure.
Yeah.
And because we had success, it's sort of, you gloss over it. And it would have been, that's why I wanted to actually see last test, and maybe there would have been some repercussions. Time to go Warner, time to go some of these just non-performers that they've just been giving chance. Which other sport gives so many chances to players that are completely out of form? I mean, it just makes no sense.
All right, well, it's good. Anyway, we got one more test left. I think it's an important one. I think the Aussies want to walk away 3-1.
Correct.
As real winners, and I think the
English want to get to 2, right?
English would like a draw, save a bit of face. So it's still a bit to play for anyway. All right. Going back a little bit to play for. What's news today, Wolf? What's come out?
I'll tell you what, not much. I've got about 6 announcements for you. One is crapola. The other 3 are so it's a pretty mundane start to the week, even though we had not a bad finish to the last week from the US, right? Fairly, boring start to the week. We'll see. There's some nice little moves. Look, I'm glad. I'm just looking at some of these last week's performance. I'm glad, like, for example, Tilix is bouncing nicely now up to 1071. So that's sort of trying to get back to that 11 bucks and hopefully start climbing back up to 12. It was an overreaction last week, no doubt. I mean, I ranted about it last week, right? It was an overreaction. So that's probably going to play out the way it is. It might not happen over, next week or two, but I think generally speaking, over the next few weeks, you'd probably get back to that 11, 12 bucks. Just going through some of the other stuff. And I looked through your Einsteins, I looked through your hot stock, Dave. And again, there's some nice stories in there. But, is it exciting enough in there? No, it's fairly good stories, but nothing meaty that you go, I'm going to get some. And when I look at maybe some of the meaty stuff, like ODA, that was on there, your OFX, it's just a pretty boring start this week, isn't it? So we just got to be some patience to see how they sort of perform.
Yeah, we can have a look at them. I thought the NEU was an interesting buy signal, Wolfie. A bit of resistance there at 15, but you know what? There's still a lot of FOMO in this stock, although it's expensive.
Yep.
And it could potentially go for a run.
Mm-hmm.
Flight Center had a buy signal. It's heavily shorted stock, and the price action was good. I think that could go up to that 23. QBE, the insurers they still got a little bit of life in there, and the price action last week was good. I thought that was an interesting buy signal. I thought VEA, a great dividend play. Paying 12% dividend, 13%. Had a little bit of a shakedown 4 or 5 weeks ago because they had a a construction initial on the site
Yep.
where, but that looks like it's recovered and could go on. And again, PRN Parenti was an interesting little buy signal. So I thought there was some interesting stories there to trade.
And most of them are, to be fair, most of them are positive today, but they're not racing away, so to speak. So I think it's maybe it gives you time to just set yourself, pick your story, and go with it the rest of the week.
Yeah, definitely not a hurry. And Sol Pats looked good. We talked about that one on Sunday. Os4X particularly liked Wolf. I mean, again, this is a highly profitable company. So a highly profitable company is trading way below its January, when it came on the market beginning of the year. I think it was a little bit a little bit overdone, this story. But I thought the price action last week was superb, and that's why it won the hot stock. Again, looking for a good story, one that's profitable, right? And again, one you're going to be careful with, just be patient with. If you actually go back in the past, you see a similar sort of breakup from trend lines. It took 8 weeks really before it really started marching up. And it could be the same, but I think if you give this time, it can march up back to that 250. Qantas, a good chart, but again, we're a little bit, we're a little bit, I don't know. It's a dividend play, isn't it? It's going to gyrate up and down a little bit. And NWL had that superb little breakout. I thought SSM looked really interesting. Biz, again, this is another good dividend paying stock, Wolf. I think what does it give? 7 or 8% dividend, or possibly a little bit more. Yeah, again, breaking up, and I thought that looked interesting. SIQ, a superb, again, and a superb looking chart with Smart Group. MMS looks like, for me, it's still going, and we'll go and hit that test somewhere around that 20. LYL, again, this has been a superb story for us ever since we put this one on. I think it's already up 30-40%. I love the price action, the fact that it's gone sideways for a while, and it's been so much support around that sort of above that 957, above that trend line. Most weeks holding up above 10. So really like it, Wolf, and I think hopefully this can go on with it. DUR just doesn't look like there's anything stopping it. ACF, again, good company, come down to trend. I think it's time it had a run higher. HLO, I'm seeing it doing very well today, nearly back up towards that $3, Wolf. Again, good price action, good candle last week.
That's the one doing quite well. Yeah, almost back to $3. You're right.
Yeah, Web, I thought looking good. Cochlear, I mean, I know look at it, just direct sideways, but maybe there's 3 or 4% in it. Cat, which is a story I know you've got a bit of hope for. Just this could be a little bit of a sort of a dark runner. This could have a good announcement. It could do
110 on Friday, Dave. So not sure how that got 106 on yours, but doesn't matter. It's like a really strong finish, isn't it, on Friday?
Yeah.
Which is really strange because I was looking at the chart last week and I'm thinking this is starting to look really interesting, and I thought I've got to have a nibble on this because I'm thinking that we've seen, I've made the cases before on some of these stories that once they start turning cash flow positive, the market just basically goes in there and goes, we're going to push it higher. So that's why I thought it quite interesting. So we'll see what happens. They're probably going to update soon. So fingers crossed.
You got ODA, RUL, I thought looking good. HEL, nothing stopping it. DUG, again, you put this one as a sell, but you know what? The chart still looks very, very, very bullish. So
don't say sell. Profits taking. I think sell. You're saying get out and move on. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just take some chips off the table. It's so far from the trend lines. It hasn't been like that previously. It might come. It might sneak another few cents here or there. But I think when you look at the the really strong share price run from 50 cents, if you just below 50 cents to that's at 200% already. Doesn't hurt to take a few chips off the table on a chart such as this.
And if you're going to trend it, I think you could look at a daily chart with a tight stop, like you say.
Absolutely.
Obviously VYS, where I wasn't that keen on the chart, but again, I think you gave me a big kick up on fundamentals on this story, and you said, Dave, listen, I feel technically it's got further to go, And I think that, you know, at the end of the day, it was a major breakout last week. So hello.
So in another case of, you know, to put into your memory bank of upgrades, this is what happens. It just goes up and up and up.
Yeah, I mean, SRG solid as at the moment. CBA maybe have a 4 or 5% in it.
Yep.
NWL would look good. We saw CPP breaking out. JHG, a great looking chart on JHG. BKI looked like it could go a little bit higher. KKC, NGI, CPU looked very, very, very good. SOV, SOH. So there was some really good little bullish charts there, I must say, Wolf. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react for the rest of the week. And what I would say, I absolutely, and it's again, it's my favorite part of the website. Absolutely, love your Wolf's weekly wrap. And again, you had SRG. Wolf is one of those stocks that you know, have a good look at. 5GG. You know, again, it's below the trend line, but watch it closely. If you get over what you're saying, Wolf, if you get over the trend, you think this one could possibly have a bit of a run.
Well, look, I was interested to see why it goes up 48%. You know, is it fundamental? Is it just FOMO? What is it? I mean, all we're looking at that FOMO YOLO side of things is we're looking at the week and saying, okay, what, and up pretty strongly. I mean, 50% is a strong week, right? So for me, the answer was, is this real? Is this not real? For me, I thought, no, it was just one of those moves. Wait, way too early to look at this story as an investment. I think it's, you know, it's a nice story, interesting story, but way too early. But it's, you know, just interesting to see 50% up.
Yeah, Doug, you obviously talked about, and I thought again, we both agreed it had a great looking chart, didn't it? Catapult.
Yeah.
And again, they're going to have an announcement fairly soon, and you know, price action is good, and you know, I suppose it's starting to tick boxes for you, Wolfie. Good chart, good, you know, fundamentals starting to turn. And it was funny, you actually called me on Friday. You said, Dave, I'd already decided my hot stock was going to be OFX, and you said, Dave, what are you choosing? I said OFX. Where you just wanted to, I think, already book.
Make sure that you didn't steal my stuff.
I think you wanted to book Catapult, correct?
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
I wanted something that you don't obviously choose from, because then again, you can claim it for yourself.
And again, good to see TLX having that little fight back, as you said. Drop sweet, calling a mulligan. You know, I think it may be sideways for 3 months, but a hold maybe gives you another opportunity to get this if it goes down to 25. Wolf. Flight Center, obviously, you like that buy signal as well. Credit Corp. Best idea for next week was Credit Corp.
Interesting, isn't it? Because we talked about it. I know somebody suggested to us ODA looked absolutely great, right? But I come across CCP, and I tell you why I chose it, because it was, I think, 12-month highs, right? First of all, so you like that stuff. It's poking out a very strong week, and you think to yourself, why? But then you look at actually the fundamentals. You look at why it's potentially going up, and that is, you know, the plateau in interest rates. It just makes sense. So I'm thinking, okay, well, strong momentum. Let's give it a go. If you can get, you know, up to 10% out of this, you'll do quite well out of this. And yeah, I just went for something a bit different, because we don't really talk about bigger stocks like CCPs.
Yeah, and you know, again, a profitable company, right? So
exactly.
And Wolf, one that will benefit with the interest rates if they start
correct. That's why,
down.
you know, this is why it makes so much sense to me. That I thought, let's play it.
Okay, and biggest news of the week. What was that?
It's the bumpy ride over the quarterlies, right? That's what we're looking at. Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the open comment on anything, I think that what caught my eye last week was the bigger picture stuff, right? Because, you know, we're normally very short-term focused as investors, but then you look at things like DSE and what happened to DSE and TLX, for example, what, you know, stocks that we follow pretty closely. You can get very, you know, upset, I suppose, when you see big falls like that, and you go, oh my God, what am I doing? But then you have to step back, right? And you go look at bigger picture. Was it the company that was at fault? Was it the market? Was it something else? If it's something else, then don't worry about it. It will probably recover with time, right? So you just got to, this is what the whole thing was about right at the end, was about just taking a step back, taking a deep breath, don't cry about stuff that you can't control. Everything's okay. Unless, of course, like I said, put a caveat in, unless it's company specific, then yeah, get out and,
maybe
in the corner.
Maybe the English cricket team need to listen to that advice.
Exactly, Dave. Exactly. Just looking at a big picture is one of those things that you need to learn and abide by when you're in long-term investing, because the short-term shocks like that could really, throw you against the wall, and you go, "What am I doing?"
All right, Wolf, and it's funny you should say that, because when you look on the Dow, right, if our exhaustion patterns play out as we think they do, or how they have played out, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pretty commonly this week is most probably going to be a temporary high on the Dow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we have a temporary high on the Dow this week, then yeah, it really agrees with everything you're saying. We've had a bit of a run. Maybe it just needs to cool off a little bit. Everyone's excited that maybe, great, inflation's a little bit on the hold at the moment. So we've had but maybe that's it. And also, we are coming up to record highs at, around that 36,000. So maybe this week does really make sense that we hit a temporary high on the Dow. And if we do that, then possibly our markets just might struggle sideways to slightly down for a while. So
I think the key here is, we've got the reporting season. The actual big companies need to report extremely well for it to push through the 36,000 points, right? And everyone's saying impossible. They're not going to do it. There's just too much risk out there, and they're probably going to just fail, right? So that's why, I'm talking about pretty much volatile. You might get one great week, the next week is going to be pretty poor, and vice versa. You could have that daily swings like we've seen before, because reporting season is notoriously fickle. So like I said, it's, when we talked about last week too, if you are in a stock, if you're a stock it's coming up to your report, maybe it's not a bad idea to take a profit out of it, because we've seen already companies going great guns, come up with a report, something slightly amiss, and down she goes by 10% overnight, right? So just be wary. This could happen to you, and it's going to be a volatile period over the next, say, probably 6 weeks.
All right, well, for that, no, absolutely brilliant as normal. We've looked at a number of stocks today. I think we've gone through Einstein's. Wolf's got some interesting ones. There's interesting ones to have a look at today. So plenty for those traders out there. And on that note, Wolfie, see you tomorrow.
See you guys.
Thanks, mate. Bye, Wolfie. Bye.